Welcome to the cast. Today we have Emily Porter with us, and then we have Ken and Michelle Hurst with us, joining us, and we're going to jump into their story a little bit. But before we do, we're going to hit up the Peanut Gallery back there with Shannon and Tia and Tim, and see what kind of trivia game they have for us today.
Yes, I have some trivia. Now, guys, I haven't fact-checked this, so this may be totally all wrong. But, hey, we're going to go with it, and it's going to be fun. Okay, so the first question is, who painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel?
Michelangelo, right?
Oh, my goodness, Ken!
The quiet one over there.
The orange Ninja Turtle. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. What'd you say?
The orange Ninja Turtle. He always had the orange band. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
They were all named after Italian artists.
Yes.
Right?
Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello.
Is that how you remembered?
That's how I do.
Yeah.
No, I just knew it.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Gary, you knew that?
Yeah.
I can never remember who did what. Like, I know the names, but can never remember who did what. Okay, so what is the main profession of Nintendo character Luigi?
Oh, he's a plumber.
Plumber, right?
Oh,
Yes.
Is somebody a race car driver?
Yes.
No, Mario Kart, but
Oh,
I'm tracking with you.
that's not how.
You and I are on the same page right now.
Okay,
I only know that one because of my son, but
what is the hardest natural substance on Earth?
Carbon.
That's what I would think it would
diamond. A diamond.
well, diamond is made from carbon when it's pushed and pressed and
Time and pressure.
yeah.
So diamond is what you're going with?
That's what I'm going with, diamond.
It is diamond. It is diamond. Very good.
It was a team
Very
effort.
good.
Good job.
Under
Sorry.
pressure, we all are created as diamonds. Beautiful. What's the
trying.
national animal of Scotland?
Oh.
The unicorn.
Has this come up in the FIFA stuff?
Hot
I've been
snakes.
watching a lot of that.
I've watched a little of it. I
what
don't
stuff?
know
The
what would
FIFA
be
World
the...
Cup.
Oh.
Have you guys been
I'm
watching
out.
the World Cup?
Yeah, some.
Little.
And then all the stories they show about the people that have come to America in the different towns and how much fun they're having and everything.
The dude from Brussels had never seen a Waffle House and ranked it a 10 out of 10 and wanted like 5 stars. He's like, this is the best food ever. And he went at like 2 a.m. I was like, not sure that's the best food ever,
Yeah,
bud.
right. Riley said that people were enjoying our country, which is good.
It's my new favorite clip to watch of just them reviewing American food.
That's awesome.
Is the answer Loch Ness Monster?
It's not. It should be, but it's not.
A unicorn.
It is a unicorn.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay.
I thought it was hot snakes.
No.
What's that?
Let's see. Let's get
another country.
one
So proud of
more.
Gary won't know that one.
You don't think you'll know that one?
I
No.
like how they purposely
Gary,
find ones you
who
won't know.
painted Starry Night? Everybody knows that one.
Oh, I know that
No,
one.
I don't know Starry.
See, I knew it.
Is that the one with the swirl?
Yeah.
Van Gogh?
Van Gogh.
Yes,
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh paint. I do know
If
that.
I'd have seen it, I'd have known it.
Starry Night?
If I saw the painting,
Oh, it would.
didn't
I
know
don't
the
know the
name.
I don't know the title of
like
it.
like a spiritual thing. Okay. How many more? Any
One more good one.
One more. Okay.
I can't end on a
Let's
loser.
see. Who was the UK's longest serving female prime minister?
Thatcher was
Margaret
last
Thatcher.
name.
Yes.
I had the
Margaret
first name.
Thatcher.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. We have some smart people in the room.
Ken loves games too, so
Oh.
He does not.
Ken, are you
Yeah.
one of those like trivia people?
No, see, I know trivia. I just don't like playing games. It's like the whole family sit down and it has to be a thing. I'm just like, no, I don't need all that. And this is going to make me sound really bad. So you can feel free to edit
So
this out.
just
It's a
answer
scorekeeper.
you.
I don't edit things.
Oh, great.
I play games with you.
No, this is no. There's no
yes,
edit.
Emily's played games with
I've played games with
Steve.
you.
Yeah, I just have to be in the
He
mood.
hates it. He hates it.
Well, it's at the end of the table.
I tolerate
so
it.
that makes sense.
The
It's like
title
an
of this
escape
episode is going
route.
to be Ken Hates His Family.
I have to be in the mood.
That's a different episode.
Wow. All right.
Oh, okay.
No more of that.
Moving right along.
All right. So let's jump in. So you guys have been at the church since I've been at the church, and
We were
Probably
married
longer.
15
Be
years
50
ago this summer.
Be 15 years next.
Wow.
What, 2 weeks? Yeah.
And he moved down here about a year before that.
Yeah. So about a year and a half I think I was here, and then we got married in 2011. Yeah, this will be 15 years this year.
So, Michelle, was this the church you grew up in?
No, I grew up in the Free Methodist Church here in town, and had a wonderful childhood there. It's an amazing church. I was taught biblical foundational things. They're wonderful people. Sometimes I still go back there for special events or whatever, and I feel like I can just go around and sit with whoever, and had a wonderful experience there. So we went to church there until I graduated high school. And my parents had started, they had some friends who had either experienced the baptism of the Holy Spirit or were interested in it. And so they were having conversations and things. And that's how they kind of made their decision that they wanted to start going to a church that used those gifts openly. And so they actually kind of waited till I graduated high school so that I would be able to finish. And then they started going here. So my sister was a freshman. She was going into her freshman year when they started coming here. So I went to college. I went to Greenville College, which is actually a Free Methodist school in Illinois. And then I graduated. And so it was kind of weird. Like while I was in college, when I would come home, sometimes I would go to Free Methodist because I still had friends that went there and I knew people. And then sometimes I would come here with my family. And so I knew some people. And so it was kind of a slow transition. After college, I lived in Muncie for 2 years and taught there. And then in 2002, I moved back here and had kind of started going here enough that when I moved back, I started coming here. I got involved with the youth pretty soon after that. If you don't know, I'm a high school math teacher. I teach math at B&L. And I remember going in to talk with Pastor Chris, actually, to tell him, hey, I'm really interested in working with the youth. This is who I am. Like, I want students to have somebody at B&L that they know, that they're comfortable with, that they can come to. And, that to be like a safe connection for them. So that was a very, very, it was a fun time. It was actually a pretty influential time in my spiritual life because I didn't have the background with the gifts of the Spirit. And so I'm over here as an adult leader and I'm listening to Pastor Chris teach and I'm like, I'm learning as much as the kids are. Like, I knew the Lord. I accepted him as my Savior when I was 8. I was baptized at the Free Methodist Church. So, we had a relationship, but all of the gifts of the Spirit things were brand new. So, that was an important time in my life for sure. And then actually it's when kind of Ken and I met. We met online.
In what year was that?
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
And
it was really a
new.
big.
I was gonna say,
it was a big deal
That's
then.
like almost, the internet was still new.
I was just
We thought you
thinking.
were crazy.
I feel like that's kind of gone away now. Is that?
Yeah.
Do
'cause
people just use apps now?
I think it's just apps. And I remember, I don't know if you know this or not. You might know this. I remember being in ceramics class with Mrs. Dulong, and we'd be like, okay, Michelle has a date tonight. And he's coming down. I think it was like Kokomo. She's like, I think he's from Kokomo. I remember this. So yeah, other teachers were so excited for you. It was you.
It was others.
Yeah, it was you.
I didn't live in Kokomo. That's what
my
threw me
word.
off. So, yeah.
Maybe that's what I don't.
That's
it was
funny.
somewhere up.
Yeah.
up
So there were Emily. There's several adults now that were students when
I remember
around that time.
They do grow up.
We were invested.
I know. So yeah. So then we got married in 2011. We've both. It's funny now. Honest, Ken's way more talkative and social, and like, so during greeting
Except
time and
when you
everything.
stick a microphone in front of him. Yeah.
He. Don't feel like it took you that long to feel comfortable, but
I
you
jumped
can
right
share
in.
about.
Yeah, so
your
I was raised Baptist. My originally raised in northern Indiana, and my parents still go to the church that I went there most of high school. We're a small town where it was a Christian church, and then rest of my time was Baptist until I met Michelle, and I was like, oh, these people have drums. Like, this is a big deal. Like, it was very traditional, like organ and piano is what we had every Sunday. So I do remember growing up, the one pastor that my parents had the longest, when he came, he brought a guitar, and the older people in church absolutely lost it. Like, that was not a thing. Like, it was an organ and piano only type thing. And so when I saw like drums and the whole band and everything, when I walked in, I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. So what she talked about with the gifts of the Spirit and everything, that was obviously very new to me. And when the first time I heard like a tongues interpretation type thing in a service, I was just like, what just happened? Because it was very just something I'd never seen before. So but now I kind of understand it. I've studied more of it and really feel like I kind of understand a little more. So
What brought you down here? Was it Michelle?
yeah, it was Michelle. Yeah.
Okay.
My career at the time was in retail, and it was kind of one of those I could commute, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So, yeah, it was Michelle. In college, I remember somebody talking about a town of Bedford, and I was just like, okay, don't know what's there. And I think I'd been there like one time, and as somebody told me then, like, how many years later I'd be living there and have for 17 years or something at this point, close to it, 16 at least, I would have said, no, you're on something. But
Yeah. The Lord used a woman to bring me here too.
yeah, there you go.
True.
Yeah.
I never planned on living. I was on the west side of Evansville, and that's where I was going to stay. And
Yeah.
I've been up here now since 2009. So
It's about the same time then.
yeah,
What year did you and Holly get married?
2009. Graduated college in 07, married in 09. Yeah. So yeah, our paths kind of mirror each other there.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you guys both very active in the church. Michelle, you're back with the kids, right?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I do one Sunday a month back on Kids First. I've been at the nursery desk since the Bryants were here.
Oh,
so
mercy.
many years.
Oh my word!
But now I've
15
backed
years.
up. I'm only doing like the fifth Sunday.
So 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Because here's the thing, like, there's many ladies that are baby people and absolutely love them, and I love to greet them as they come to the desk.
Pawn them off to somebody else.
But being back there taking care of the children, that's not my gifting. So, yeah.
It's important you know that.
Oh yes, I mean,
Don't drop the children.
this is
That's
one of
bad.
the reasons that we don't have kids of our own.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm on the missions committee and on the sisterhood lead team. So the lead team is really kind of where my focus is. And then there's some other things rolling around in that head. And Pastor Chris and I have talked a little bit about some maybe new ventures that I'm interested in looking at for the church.
Nice.
I'm just going to take a minute, though, and just talk for a second about how important I think it is for people to find out what it is that they want to put their time in ministry and do that. Like, you know, if somebody comes into church and they don't know anybody, or very few people, and they're like, well, how do I get to know people? Like, it, you know, and for some, their personalities, it's easy. They can meet people and they seem to get connected. And for others, it's not that easy. So I would say serving with people in ministry is how you get connected. It's how you make those bonds. I mean, how are Tim and Ken, you know, such good friends? Well, because they're in the sound booth every Sunday together. You know, Emily and I are friends because I was an adult leader when she was in youth. Several different things with you guys. I just feel like ministry is so important because it takes your mind off of yourself, and you're doing something. I have hit this a million times.
It's fun.
Okay. You're doing something with like-minded people who love the Lord, and so you're having an impact, but you're also getting a lot from it. Like, there's a lot that, you as a person, like those relationships, the Lord blessing you, just so many things along the way. So, if you have something, you're like, well, I don't know, like, how do I go about that? Like, just ask somebody. Like, you don't have to go up to Pastor Chris necessarily and go, I would like to volunteer here and make it all formal. Just find somebody and be like, hey, I'm interested in, this thing. Like, I want to be a greeter, or I'd like to go, like, visit the people that are in nursing homes or things. Like, I can talk with people. Like, I just encourage you to do that. Ken, I don't know, he jumped in with 2 feet. And what was the first ministry thing that you were part of?
I think I started kind of learning a little sound and helping with, at that time, they wanted somebody to help with the sound for the youth on Wednesday nights. And I got suckered into that pretty quickly. I love doing it.
Don't make it sound so wonderful.
Certain people have the ability to be like, sure, it'll be fun. And then you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And
he must like it. He's never quit.
Yeah, I still do it. So it's like, you just had fun. And it was like, at that point, you kind of end up not only just being the sound guy, you're also like kind of like a leader. And to see some of those, like Eli, for example, was one of them at that time, and is now to see him as an adult, like learning how to worship and things like that. It's kind of neat to have that little bit of impact or
you're seeing the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, exactly. That couldn't get the words out. Yeah. So I started there, and then I'm on the executive board for the church. So I'm technically the church secretary as well, with the paperwork for the finances and stuff. And then I've helped Tim with the AV. I kind of do the live stream. Done that, I'm trying to think how long it's been. At least 10 years, I think.
Actually.
So we have a good time up there. I love it because we figure out how to overcome lots of problems on the fly a lot, and it's kind of fun. And we get to see each other freak out quite often.
Oh,
and it's fun. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
The number of Sundays he'll come home and be like, well, we need a blah, 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 and this went out. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he's like, well, he has this, and he's like, I'm going to order this on Amazon. And I'm like,
so I know Ken and I are good friends because we can get mad at each other and then walk away and not be mad.
Yeah. We used to, we don't even hug it out, but I'm like, high five or something. Like, we're good, right? We're good. And
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah. Get out of here. Yeah.
So you don't have to have a skill set to join a ministry. You just have to have a desire to be involved.
Exactly.
You'll learn the ministry as you get.
And the thing is, like, I've always liked some sort of technology, and like I've always been in some sort of management most of my adult career. So the fact that, like, for the board, it was like, okay, this is, and I was on the board at a church I was at prior, so that part was like, okay, this can't be too difficult. It is, trust me, it is. But you adapt to it, and I think a lot of it's just having that servant mindset of wanting to get something done or have an impact, and you can't teach that. Like, you have to have that ability to be able to just
say
want
yes.
to do it. Yeah, the yes. And then, like, the learning, the ability of it will come later on. Like, if I had somebody that wanted to just volunteer now and had just wanted to learn it, we could teach how to click a mouse. Like, that's not hard to do the slides or something for Sunday, and that's how I started. I was like, okay, this is how many times do we click throughout a day on a computer or something in my job. So it's like, okay, this wouldn't be that difficult. But if you had somebody, to teach somebody that you just want to teach them the skill and they don't have the ability to want to learn, it's a different, or the servant heart that goes with it. That's where it gets
you can't teach that heart.
No.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And it's okay too when it's time to step away from something. A couple, maybe 2 years ago, I thought about the things that I was involved in church and the different extracurricular things that I was leading at school. And another Ken and I both volunteer with Between the Crowd, which is a youth organization in town. That's a weekly commitment on Monday nights, and then we have other events. And I was like, I need to take something off my plate, because I either was feeling overwhelmed, or there were other times that I felt like I just wasn't able to give adequately in all of those areas. So I stepped down from doing the girls' ministry on Wednesday nights. I had done that for lots of years. Tia and I, you remember we used to do prims?
Every Wednesday.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my
For
gosh.
years.
Yeah. And I was just like, the Lord has somebody else to step into this role, because I'm not doing a good job. And I remember I was like, I would dread coming in and having to do that. And I was like, okay, that's my clue. If I'm dreading this, then there may be somebody else out there that just needs an opening and be like, hey, do you want to come in and do this? And so I definitely don't want to make anyone think that once you commit to something that you have to do it for life, like some people do.
Except Tim, he's stuck there. Come on.
Yeah, you have to have your replacement lined up before you can step away. But yeah, like the Lord, there are seasons when the Lord will call you into something. I think it's funny. I basically got out of working with youth while Ken and I were dating, and then once we got married, he kind of got into that. So we were never youth leaders at the same time, but we both have been. Yeah.
Yeah, we would prefer people come on board, not because there's a vacancy, come on, learn the job, and then somebody who's been there for a while can step away. But yeah. Would you say, Tia, Heather Terry told you the need is the call?
Yes. There were many times where she was like, I'm telling you that you're doing this. This may not necessarily be God. It's me telling you, come on, here we go. We're doing this. Yeah. And we did it. And it was a good time. Yeah. And God met us where we were at and gave us the gumption to do it.
I mean, I went to youth convention with Shannon, and we both were just like, we don't know what we're doing. And we just like hung out. So,
I totally forgot about that. Was years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Is that the first time that you and I... We took Matt Todd.
Yeah.
Me and Matt Todd had to share a bed because
I had my CPAP machine. Because I had the long mask and it was the tube and everything.
Either.
Yeah.
And
we're all in a room together. We're like, all right.
All night long.
Yeah.
Darth Vader right now.
I had sleep apnea.
And Kid was asleep, I'm sure, the whole night.
Pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Matt's been hiding that secret for 15 years.
Sorry, Matt.
It's out now.
But it was it was one of those, you don't know what you're doing. You just go because it's the right thing to do. And we had a good time. Like, I mean, past that, it's like, all right, And now Matt's on the board with me. It's just like, you never know where people are at, like 5 to 7 years later. So,
Well, I went to youth convention a couple times. Jill and Heidi and I were youth volunteers in the beginning, and Jill and Heidi knew each other from church for a long time, and I kind of knew Heidi because my sister's close to her age. Jill and I became quick friends. I actually got filled with the Holy Spirit at youth convention. They always have a night, I don't know if they still do, but most of the times they have one night that's dedicated to preaching about the Holy Spirit so that students understand it, and then giving you an opportunity to come up. And it was one of those times where I was like, I'm the adult. This seems weird. But I was so drawn. I was like, I know 1,000% that I've got to put one foot in front of the other and get myself up there. So I went up to Pastor Chris and I was like, I want to be filled. So, I don't know. And he prayed with me, and, it was a while. But, so that was a experience I will not forget for sure.
Well, let's shift gears and jump into that a little bit. So Michelle, I think you said you got saved when you were 8?
At Bible school.
Yeah. So let's jump into that story. Let's just hear both of you where you met Jesus and how you got saved and that walk since then.
Yeah. So like I said, I'd been in church my whole life. We were that family that was there every time the church doors were open. I remember on Sunday afternoons, back then, every church had Sunday evening church. That was very normal. My mom would go to church early before Sunday evening church because they would have choir practice. and she sang in the choir, so she'd go, and then we would go. But I was very blessed to have a large youth group and very good youth leaders and pastors when I was in junior high and high school. So, I made that decision early on, and here's the cry. I'm very, very thankful that for whatever reason the Lord kept me away from a lot of things. It's not going to be that bad. I remember when I watched Shannon and Tia's episode of the cast, and they talked about, the word testimony and how such a churchy word that is, and people that aren't in church are like, what is that? Or there were many times when I was younger when I thought, I don't have a testimony, because you would hear people say, well, I'm going to give my testimony, and they'd say, whatever. I did all of these things, and my life was in shambles, and then the Lord brought me out of it, and here I am today. Well, I praise the Lord that I never had to go there. The Lord can keep you in His will, and you can say yes to Him, and you don't have to experience all those things. And I don't know why He allowed that to happen for me. So my story, I say, is that, I'm thankful that I was raised in church by parents that love the Lord and have been able to just continue that relationship, and how it has changed, over the years as I've changed, as I've gotten older, as I've learned more, as I figured out how to be emotionally healthy myself. One thing that I really have been excited about, that Pastor Chris has done since he's been here, really early on. He did a Wednesday night study. I tried to find the book before I came here, and I couldn't find it. The title was something along the lines of emotionally healthy spirituality, and about how I don't feel like it's talked about enough in churches that to be healthy spiritually, you have to be healthy emotionally yourself, and that there's a lot of misunderstandings, church hurt, that come because we're messed up in our minds and our emotions, and we think we have to do things because we've been told this, or it's something that we learned in church that's not really healthy, or that's not really biblical, but along the way that we picked that up. So he did that book study, and then even currently the
Offended.
Thank you. The Unoffended series that he's going through. I'm like, he and I have had a few chats about that, and I just think that the church, and when I say the church, I mean everybody that loves Jesus, could benefit so much from making sure that we're doing inventory on ourselves, our emotions. Are we acting out of what the Lord wants? Are we acting out of thinking through things and not just reacting to our emotions? I mean, obviously that gets us in trouble in relationships and things. So what do you think it's going to have the same impact on church things if we're just, reacting and not taking a step back and going, now wait, this person, let me go talk to them, because I bet what I got from that is probably not what happened. I had a conversation a couple of summers ago. I worked in the fair booth with somebody, and it was during that transition time between the shifts, we were doing the same job, and she was trying to tell me what they had done the first shift, and then I was coming in for the late one, and I said something kind of quick, not mean, but just kind of curt, and so she came to me a couple weeks ago, and weeks after that, and said, hey, can we just talk about this for a second? Because it's kind of been bothering me. And so I just wanted to talk it out with you. And it took like 2 minutes. And I said, I could very well have been a little bit too straight with you. I apologize. There was no, meaning behind that or whatever. So making a choice to be unoffended, I just feel like is huge. Like, figure out, go talk to the person. All the things Pastor Chris mentioned or listed on Sunday, that like different things that we think of, with anger, it's not always like the blah, blah, blah. It's can be the passive stuff. And just, when he was reading through, I had to listen to it later because I was back with the kids this past Sunday. But there were times I was like, ooh. Because I do, like, I went like, I don't think I'm offended very much about things. Like, I try really hard not to be. But then I'm like, well, okay. Yep, still am. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular series.
Yeah.
It's really getting to me because I needed to hear it.
Right. Yep.
Ken, what about you? Where'd you find God?
Yeah, so I was raised in church pretty much my whole life. Probably maybe 10 or 11 at Bible school that I asked Jesus into my heart. And then I want to feel like it was almost forced, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like it, and probably in middle school, I feel like it really kind of clicked and kind of redid it. Was baptized and everything after church camp one summer. And, has always been very active in church. My kind of didn't have a choice. My mom was the choir director and made all three of us like sing in the choir and stuff with her. So it was always like we were kind of told we had to do something. And later in life, I feel like it really clicked a lot more when it's something you enjoy doing and it's kind of on your own terms. So I've always been, in my adult life anyway, always been trying to be pretty active. There's always something I enjoy doing. So.
Mm-hmm.
Ken is definitely a volunteer at heart. Like,
yeah, sometimes to a fault. Yeah.
There'll be times like you like, I'm going to go do this. I'm like, no. Do you know how to do that? Nope. Okay.
I remember trying to figure out I had to ask Tim for advice one time because I was like, oh, apparently I have to do the church website and like tweak it. And I didn't. We finally found a document somewhere. We were in between pastors and we were trying to like update it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I ended up having to like call somebody to figure it out. But I mean, I've always just usually figure out how to do things and go from there. So
You've been willing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not always done it right, but we get her done. So. Yeah.
So let's go back to, you said that you now serve on the board.
Yeah.
And how long have you been on the board now?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I was trying to do the math a minute ago. Somewhere between 7 and 10 years.
Okay.
It's 3-year terms, and I think I'm in my third, I think. So it's somewhere around it's like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah, now I think about it.
So we had actually discussed in a meeting previously that to like have somebody from the board kind of like give a background of what you guys do, because a lot of people may not know you guys do the behind the scenes work. So elaborate.
In theory, we are we work with the pastor. The pastor's the way our bylaws state, the pastor is actually the CEO of the organization and basically runs the business per se. The board helps with all the basically ins and outs of the property and the organization. So the day-to-day stuff, the pastor or the pastoral staff, the major purchases, things like that, anything involving like a certain dollar amount and above usually has to go through the board. And then it's like basically we have a huge building, so all of the upkeep is kind of under us. Whenever it comes time for a work day, it's not that we want to make everybody come out on Saturday, but we've got a huge building. We try to keep up with it. Huge parking lot, things like that. So there's lots of pieces to go into that. That's a very overreaching thing. Trying to explain it, but basically we meet once a month, and then more is needed to go over the finances. Insurance policies, things like that for the church all fall under us. We have a van that falls under us. It's pretty much anything that's that the church owns that has to have upkeep. So we just technically falls under us to basically be good stewards of what we have. So I guess it'd be
I think that's a good description because while well, I mean,
Round of applause.
yes, 'cause you have to remember the church is an organization, like it is a nonprofit.
It's a
So there
nonprofit,
is there's a financial side. That's not something that is most people need to even think about, but it somebody does.
I prefer not to.
I tried to get you on, man. I did. Yeah.
We're Tim's gonna put your phone number across the bottom of the
Shit,
screen.
little crayon.
If anybody
Yeah.
has any complaints,
No,
they can
let's-
just text you directly.
Let's not. I will say, we are elected for 3-year terms, and then we also are the to piggyback off what I was saying earlier. We're also responsible for if there is a vacancy of the pastoral staff. We basically form the search committee to find somebody. So,
Gotcha.
in my tenure, we've had to do that with Pastor Chris, and we found him, and that whole process was very. We thought it'd be stressful, but the God just worked it out so much. And I look back now, I'm like, I can't believe I was stressed about this. Like this is working out really, really nicely. So it's really an honor. People think of it as, I'll be honest, when I got elected, I was like, just another meeting to go to, that kind of thing. It's kind of how you look at it. But and there's been some that have been that way. But now I feel like we're in a spot now with our growth, and people enjoy. Not to say people didn't enjoy being here before, but I feel like more people do. And the fact that we're growing, it's like, it's not less like as stressful. There was times where we go over our finances every month. It's like, like being the treasurer as well. I'm like, there's a comma now. We're good. There was times where there wasn't as many decimal points afterwards places. So it makes me very grateful for everything we have now. So I think everybody should have, if you're ever attend, it's good to know the ins and outs of little on that kind of stuff, of just to know how the sausage is made, I guess, for lack of a better term. So,
Well,
for
and that's
asking.
kind of the little bit of help that you guys give when you hold a business meeting too, to give people a little more insight of what's going on. I know, they say members for sure come, but like people that are not members are still welcome to come. They just may not be able to vote in case there's a vote that's cast.
Yeah, anybody that can attend, it's just more of like the voting part is what's for actual members. So I would encourage anybody, even if you've just started coming, like it doesn't hurt to understand how one of these work. Like at some point, hopefully you're one of those people that can vote. We do a membership class like 2-3 times a year. That is what it takes to vote, but anybody can attend, and usually they're usually in February. So
Yeah, I was going to ask how often do we have those, 'cause people may
just
not know.
once a year, unless there's something major. There was when we sold the old parsonage. That was I think we had to have a brief meeting with that, and we can call one at any point. We just have to give like so many Sundays notice or something that we're having one. But that was the other thing. Like when we sold a building, like 3 of us had to go and actually like sign the closing for the building, and like I didn't think that was ever part of my duties, but it is. And now I'm like, okay, it's just part of it. But you don't realize how much kind of goes into it, and at no point we're trying to toot our own horn. It's just kind of one of those that you asked. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of behind the scenes that probably, people like us don't think what we deal with.
I would
I
encourage.
do think you should toot Chris Allen's horn, though.
Oh, that man is awesome. He does. So he's over.
Oh, yeah.
When I joined, he was kind of like he'd been here the next longest to me. If you take our current members, and he's been here about 3 or 4 years longer than me, and I think he did a couple terms before that. But he basically just oversees the maintenance of this huge building. And
And
the man,
if he can't fix it, he'll find somebody who can.
Yeah.
But we could walk around and be like, oh, Chris did that, Chris did that, Chris did
there's
that.
so much that he does, and he's just always got a servant's heart with it too. And I've learned so much from that man, especially when it comes to like he was the secretary and I was the treasurer, and we're kind of like by default because nobody else wanted to do it, but it is what it is. And we both were like, we both kind of the same mindset of we're here, we're gonna get it done, and I love that about him.
That's
So,
awesome.
Who else serves on the board with you?
currently you have Matt Todd's the newest member. Myself and Chris Allen. You have Wes Rainey and then Sherry Brown.
Sherry Brown.
So there's and then Pastor Chris as well is technically part of it. There's always has to be a odd number. So there's 5 of us, and then the pastor. So.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I know that's not an easy job. Yeah, and for you too, because I mean, I remember. Oh, that was creepy.
What?
Somebody just walked by.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everybody. Okay, well, because like
That got me wondering.
I know as a spouse too, for a board member, I remember my mom. You know, she remembered my dad going to meetings and stuff. So it takes a lot for you too.
Yeah.
And so thank you to both of you. That's dedication to the church, to Pastor Chris. So yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So what else? Is there anything else you guys would like to touch upon tonight in your story? Is there something
I
particular?
just have one other thing. Do you have something?
I got nothing.
Okay. so we had been dating,
I don't know. Like, where's this going?
I don't know, maybe 6 months. And at this point, Pastor Chris and Amy were in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And Kay Weldon, was planning a trip to go to South Africa. We were going to take a team, and Pastor Chris was, I don't know if you call it the principal, but he was in charge of the Bible college there, and there was a lot of work that needed to happen. So I wanted to go on this trip. Several people of my friends were going, and Kay, and so Ken and I were talking, and I was like, oh, you should go.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even live in Bedford yet, I don't think.
I had just moved.
You had just moved? Okay. And I was like, oh, you should go. He hadn't been out of the country. I had not flown before.
Yeah, that was great.
And I'm just like, this would be a great experience. I'm like, we're not engaged or anything. Because you have to start planning these trips way in advance. And he probably said yes, because I was just like so annoying about it. I was like, you should definitely come on this trip. So he's like, okay. So we the trip was in March before we got married that summer. So March of 2011.
We got engaged in February.
Yes. So we basically spent our money to take this missions trip and had a very small honeymoon because we didn't have that money. So he's the only guy on the trip. Until we got to South Africa with Pastor Chris was there. The only guy had never flown.
Yeah. Got sick.
He got a little sick. But
It was a good trip.
yeah. And then he went on the last trip to Puerto Rico and plans to go again. So here's another plug. Those trips, if money's an issue, if you're like, I can't go because I can't afford it, don't say that. Like, the Lord will make a way. There's many things you can do to find the money for those trips, and it is life-changing. Like, you go because you want to serve, but Pastor Chris has said it before, like, what you get from that is incredible. Like, not only the connection, like the closeness you are with the people that are on that trip, but just the blessings that just you happen from saying yes. It's just as much as, yes, Lord, I'll go, and I'll do whatever I need to do when I'm there. So I guess I just want to tie that in because that was part of our story, and then that's part of the church's story coming up.
And I agree. It was, if anybody has the opportunity to take any kind of trip like that, you definitely should. It's going to put you out of your comfort zone, because I was like, okay, never flown. There was the one for Africa was way extreme, but the one in Puerto Rico, I was just like, all right. I'm like, but there's so many, and I got to go with like Ricky. We roomed together, and it was just to get to go with a friend that you have that's crazy. That's from there was the ultimate experience. And I was like, I plan on going again just because I think I know a little more now, and hopefully I can be more help. But it's also just great to go because it gets you out of your daily routine, and God works in you regardless if you have a plan for it or not.
It's like what you can do as an adult that kids when they go to camp.
Yeah, exactly.
You're totally separated from your day-to-day distractions.
So I would agree. If anybody has the opportunity to go on something, they should. And that's an easy one because you don't have to have a passport, which is nice too.
True.
The Puerto Rico one.
That is true. So, Michelle, are you going to Africa, or are you going to Puerto Rico, or still thinking?
I don't know.
She should go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'm not
Although
sure.
wait, because school, may not be able to.
It is,
True.
yeah. You know,
We'll figure
I
it
don't
out.
have a flexible schedule,
Yeah.
so that makes it a little bit more challenging.
Sure. I wasn't sure if you were back on the Africa bandwagon for this trip or not.
I
so.
probably will not go to Africa on this one. I don't think it would be easy on my body. I would need to
Sure.
be more prepared.
Sure. Well, you had some good plugs in here tonight.
I know,
Thank you.
thanks.
You're good.
It's summer now, so I've got a lot more bandwidth and like mental energy. So
She's talked more in the last 50 minutes than I think.
I know.
Most of the
I didn't
evenings,
talk to a lot of people today, so I had some
That's
words
okay.
left.
Saved all the words. Yeah.
You saved it up for us. Maybe we should, have you do like announcements on Sunday morning.
Oh no, Amy does way better.
I want to see it. I'll probably gonna have some volunteers here in the next couple weeks when he's on vacation. Like, I know a guy that can make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
I usually have to do it when he's gone. Is the joke? Yeah.
I got it, kid.
Okay. Good job. I was more for the other people. Yeah. The 10 people though.
oh, Ken. Oh, well, Gary, you got anything else before we wrap up?
No, thank you guys for joining us, and enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about you.
Yes,
Thanks
absolutely.
for having us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, another awesome episode of the cast. So, like we always mention, make sure if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, make sure you give it a like. Even comment on there if you have anything to say, and then subscribe as well so we can notify you every time a new episode comes out. Otherwise, we will catch you on the cast next time.
This has been The Cast, a podcast of Bedford First Assembly of God in Bedford, Indiana, with Gary West, Emily Porter, Tia Hiles, Shannon Hiles, and Tim Ray. Listen for new episodes of The Cast every Monday.